What's a good place to start? Like a Krav Maga Groupon? I
Oh
had one of
God, no,
those a couple of
please,
years ago.
please no.
They're like, it's great for women because you're smaller.
I have a
Just
funny story about that. So like back when I was first starting, I did a Krav Maga Groupon class and it was on disarming, right? So I don't know why. It was just like the first class was like for disarming a handgun, which good God. Jesus. Don't ever take a Krav Maga disarming seminar, okay? I had this 90-pound girl across from me, just kind of like holding the plastic gun, like, okay. And I was like, oh, this is easy. Look how easy I took the gun from her, right? So then I had this like, oh, I could take a gun from somebody in my head. Well, when I started doing actually really serious gun training, I started doing like serious self-defense training. I was doing airsoft, right? And I tried to take a gun from somebody like that, and I got shot right in the tit. Okay, so like I was like, well, that didn't fucking work. So the moral of the story is Krav Maga is gimmicky and doesn't work. Okay,
okay,
but
okay. Good to
my
know.
suggestion would be to seek out a women's self-defense class from a reputable source, which is kind of hard because some of them are really like overpriced. I think number one cue that it could be a gimmick is that it's overpriced. If
Hmm.
it's overpriced, then it's probably not good training. I
What's
know it sounds
overpriced? Like
counterintuitive.
more than $30 a class?
If it's like $100, $200, I would say that it's a gimmick, right?
Okay.
But definitely look around, get some reviews, and try to find a good class that does force on force, which is actually where you're with another person using kind of full force, right? You're both trying to win type of stuff. So I've done a lot of that training, and it is a higher level. I have been injured. I would also say jujitsu is great. So like if you're a woman right now, there's a great class out there by Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh,
They put together a women's empowerment class. It's called a pink belt. And it sounds really frilly and stupid, but it's actually awesome because they teach you the most valuable Gracie Jiu-Jitsu moves. And they specifically tailor it towards a women's self-defense situation. Someone is grabbing you and trying to pull you into a car. Somebody's on top of you and you need to get them off and run away, right? So it's not going to be like gi type of, there it is, women empowered. Yeah.
ooh, okay.
Yes. So this is a really great program that just came out actually. And I would really, really recommend this over Krav Maga. The only problem is it's hard to find
Okay.
uh, a place that does it. But this is what I would recommend to people now. If you can find it. Otherwise, a women's self-defense class is better than nothing.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But
So yeah, you
some of
can go
them
on
are
here,
really,
graceuniversity.com, enter by location. Let's see if I'm gonna say New York
oh, you're
City.
gonna find tons, probably.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see that's one on Long Island, New York. All right, all right. This is good. Yeah, so they've got a lot. They've got a good amount.
Yeah. So this is a cool program because it's tailored towards women. Um, there's probably a lot of armchair men in chat going, "Woo, right, but shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, they get it.
Yeah. So
They
like
get it.
for women, right? You definitely want, yeah, it's one thing to like start jujitsu. Like my 4-year-old, she's about to start jujitsu when she turns 5 because I want her to know jujitsu, right? But most of us, like our age, like women, like busy, like we don't have time to become black belts in jujitsu. Sorry, it's not gonna fucking happen, right? So the next best thing is to be able to do something like that helps you learn the most important things quickly so that you can, learn how to defend yourself against like a most likely attack scenario, like somebody grabs you in the park while you're jogging or, something like that. You don't need to
Yeah.
become a ninja.
That's why I just like don't jog because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to get
So
I
that's a
don't wanna
good
get
that's a good
grabbed.
strategy too.
Super chat. Thank you, Clint Torres. Happy to hear your work made number one, but you've always been number one to me. Thank you, Clint. Oh, from Pat Maloney, Bullets, Blades, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. What is your carry?
I carry a Glock 43X with the S15 mag extension. So it's a Glock 43, which is kind of similar to the one up there, small frame, but it carries 15 rounds, which is hella awesome.
Do you think certain guns are better for women than others?
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you're using it for. So if you're carrying it or you have it by your bedside, right? If you have it by your bedside for home defense, I recommend a larger pistol, like a full size. Obviously, if you're carrying it, you're going to have to go with something smaller. But say rather than saying there's one I recommend, I'd say there's ones I don't recommend. And a lot of times, unfortunately, if women go to like a gun store to buy a gun, they'll give you like the smallest, cutest little pink fucking piece of shit because they're like, oh, you're a woman, right? But a lot of people don't realize that the smaller the gun, the lighter the gun, the heavier the recoil, the harder it is to shoot. So
Really?
bigger guns, bigger
Oh.
handguns, easier because it has more weight to absorb the recoil. The smaller it is, the more you're absorbing all that recoil, right? It makes sense with physics and shit, right?
Yeah.
Physics and shit, right?
Yeah.
Um,
If you have a
so
tiny bag, then you have to
definitely
be yeah.
these tiny little guns can be like the worst ones. But I mean, I like Glock. A lot of women like Sig. Sig's also a great choice. So there's some really good choices out there for guns. But whether you're a man or a woman, if you're smaller in frame, you're going to have to go with a smaller size gun. Whereas a bigger person can get away with a bigger gun. It just depends on your stature.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I tried to, like, register to get a carry license, and then I just, like, lost the paperwork, but I think I wanna try again, even though it might be impossible in New York, like, I wanna just, like,
It's
give it a
awful in New
whirl.
York. You know, the GOA and the FPC, dude, they're out fighting lawsuits against the New York laws all the time
It's
because
crazy.
they have an epic one going on because New York is trying they're trying to challenge New York as being unconstitutional in that they require like extreme personal circumstances in order to get your concealed carry license. In other words, you have to prove you're being stalked, prove um
What
you
about
have
if
to
I
go
have,
through
like,
all these hoops.
what if I have, like, people on Twitter calling me fat? Can I use that as proof that I'm in extreme
You should bring that up.
circumstances?
You should bring that up to the court, Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That would be a breakthrough case.
I'd be like, "Look, these people are calling me fat. What am I supposed to do?"